Next up is the Samsung Galaxy Watch 4. Samsung really upgraded their watch a big deal. It really took a leap with this one. Fresh new design with straight sides, squared off edges. Looks really nice on your hand. Touch sensitive bezel, great for navigating through the entire UI. Has Wear OS 3.0 developed by the partnership between Google and Samsung. And this has led to some really good features that a user can actually use. Very nice, smooth performance. Comes with a limited amount of Google apps. It hasn't really got it all, but we're hoping a lot more comes in. And primarily depends on Samsung apps and services right now. But it's well priced. It works very well. Everything is very good. Let's take a look at our review.
In a time where most upgrades are only iterative, the Samsung Galaxy Watch Active 2 has received a huge one in the form of the Galaxy Watch 4. New design, new fitness features, new sensors, and an entirely new software platform. But will all of this be enough to make it an ideal smartwatch for all Android smartphones? How well does the new Wear OS work on the watch? Is the watch any good? You will have all of these answers in the next few minutes. The watch looks and feels completely different from its previous iteration. Gone are the curved and soft edges everywhere. The sides are all straight with squared off corners and only the dial remains circular. The buttons on the side are now rectangular rather than round. The watch still carries the touch-sensitive bezel. It works well in navigating through the UI, even though it takes a second to recognize the input. The bands that come with the watch are also very different. They're designed to make it look like the connection between the bands and the watch is seamless, while it is actually not so. It feels like a downgrade, as such a style leads to more space between the bands and the wrist. The switchers to detach the watch bands are also too flush with the bands, making it extremely hard to take them off. What does not feel like a downgrade is the software on the watch. The watch is powered by the newly developed Wear OS 3.0 made by partnership between Samsung and Google. The performance is extremely smooth. Even though we dealt with some stutters at the start, they were eventually smoothened out. Switching between tiles, notifications, apps is quick. The UI very much feels like how it used to be on the Tizen-powered Galaxy watches, with some changes in navigation and small number of Google apps on the watch. Yes, a very small number of Google apps, like Messages, Google Fit, Google Maps. No Google Assistant or Google Pay. The watch still prioritizes Bixby, Samsung Health and Samsung Pay for voice assistance, health tracking and payments. You will need to have a Samsung account while activating this watch and the Galaxy Wearable app to connect it to your phone. The Galaxy Wearable app controls most of the settings on the watch, like the tiles that show up, the notifications, the always-on display settings, along with the watch faces. The default watch face collection is excellent on the watch, with all of them catering to different looks and offering a wide variety of complications with varying amounts of information. The AMOLED display that shows all of this is great. It gets bright enough for outdoor use and is pretty sharp with a resolution of 396 by 396 pixels. What about the sensors located on the back? There is just one, a 3-in-1 sensor, a single sensor to measure the heart rate, taking ECG, and a BIA, short for bioelectric impedance analysis. The ECG feature is sadly not available in India. As for what exactly is BIA, it involves a weak electrical current being sent through the body of the user to analyze body fat percentage, body mass index, muscle mass, bone mass, body water percentage, and more. And the point of all these complicated measurements is to find exactly how a change in diet or workout is affecting the user's body. While the accuracy of it should not be treated like a North Star, it's good to have for people who like some extra information beyond what other smartwatches offer. It requires you to hold out your arms, put the middle and index finger of the other hand on the 2 buttons of the watch without letting those fingers touch the skin on your wrist for 15 seconds. Samsung does have a disclaimer though, that people with electronic medical implants or pregnant women should not do a BIA. Now, moving on to the BIA, the heart rate sensor, pedometer, SpO2 sensor work really well. The default workout modes are pretty basic, but clicking the add button on the workout app shows a long list of very specific and niche workouts which can be added to the main screen. The heart rate data gets refreshed quickly while working out, and the calorie count in most cases remains accurate. If the user goes out for a walk or a run, the watch can detect it automatically and even pause it when the user comes to a pause for a few minutes to maintain the accuracy of the results. As for the times where the user needs to relax, the sleep tracking on the watch is great. It takes an SpO2 rating once every minute to find out the quality of rest the user is getting. And in case the user gets up for a few seconds, it shows the same in the results rather than recording two separate sleeping periods for the same night. And finally, one of the most critical points of Wear OS watches has been the battery life. How is it on the Galaxy Watch 4? With all of the features enabled like 24-hour heart rate tracking, continuously measuring stress levels, continuous SpO2 tracking while sleeping, always on display enabled, the 40mm variant we had lasted for 24 hours. This is when the watch is worn during the day and also during the night for sleep tracking. So the user will need to take the wireless charger along for a weekend away or use the watch with some features disabled. The hopes of having a Wear OS watch that needs to be charged once in 3 days still seems far away. So, just how good is the Galaxy Watch 4? It is a big upgrade over the Galaxy Watch Active 2 and it is a great smartwatch, despite the few flaws in terms of design and battery life. The app support due to Wear OS now being under development with Samsung is increasing faster than ever, making the future of this watch exciting. With the price starting at $23,999, it is an absolute must-buy for the users with Samsung phones. As for the people with other Android phones, we can only recommend this watch if you're willing to make the required Samsung account and install all the Samsung apps. After all, even with Wear OS at its heart, the Galaxy Watch 4 is still very much a Samsung watch, designed to work best with Samsung phones.